My fellow patriots, we're going to have a good one today. There's some huge events about to roll out. I'll discuss that and more. Stand by.
This is a Fox News alert, and we're not overselling that. This actually is a blockbuster story. So the CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, just went on the Joe Rogan podcast. And while speaking to Rogan, he admitted that Facebook censored the New York Post's accurate reporting on Hunter Biden's laptop, which of course we all knew, but that Facebook did that because the FBI intervened and told Facebook that that laptop was Russian disinformation. And of course, how would Zuckerberg know? They believe the FBI.
Impeachment trial over the course of just 2 consecutive presidencies? Possibly, as U.S. conservatives have just filed articles of impeachment against President Joe Biden. The group has accused the president of, quote, high crimes, specifically regarding border enforcement, the pandemic, and the United States exodus from Afghanistan last year. Right now, these articles are relatively meaningless, as the Republicans' minority in the House means they would likely never pass.
Hey everybody, so we're going to have a mixture of a few day-old stories and then the news stories. There's so many right now that I'm going to have to cover everything in this video as quickly as I can so that we're not running really long. Folks, holy cow. I tell you, under this presidency, I have had an unlimited amount of subjects to talk about. You would think that that's good, but it's actually very horrible. I actually have to pick 1 or 2 things and run with that, and everything else gets left in the dust. And it sucks so bad because there's so much to talk about. And, you know, I thought that that would be a, good thing. I thought that it would be like, I was like, well, we're going to have plenty of stuff to talk about, and we're going to get a lot of truth out there. What we've ended up getting is just a reality show, most of it of lies and freaking just a bunch of freaking talk, right? A whole lot of talk without results is really what we've been given this entire time. Now, I want to read you something that's going to start this entire thing off, which, I mean, oh man, it's a kick in the pants to those people that are fighting to survive every day, because if a billionaire can't get things changed and done in the United States, that's a terrible thing. And what I'm getting at is President Trump on Truth Social, and I want to read this verbatim so that there's no way whatsoever that my words can be misconstrued, okay? So Mark Zuckerberg, the Meta Platforms Inc. CEO, said in an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast that Facebook was approached by the Federal Bureau of Investigation before Hunter Biden laptop story broke, instructing it to be vigilant. What did I get the latest restrictions for? Do you all remember? Right after I did the Hunter Biden video. Literally right after I clicked off of live, they picked a BS meme and said that I was supporting freaking extremism and promoting it via the fact that I posted up a leftist shooter. Why would I do that, right? It makes me so angry to know that I'm not only fighting against leftist freaking fascist trash, but now I'm also going up against the federal government that's also trying to pressuring Facebook to silence us and censor the ever-loving out of us. You know what I mean? Doesn't this make you angry? If you didn't like the FBI before, dude, and it came out of Zuckerberg's own mouth. In an episode of Joe Rogan's Experience podcast that Facebook was approached by the Federal Bureau of Investigation before the Hunter laptop story broke, instructing it to be vigilant. I'm so sick of this. When do we get... We have this. President Trump's whining about becoming president. What do we do about the FBI? Does anybody know? How many times have we busted them outright getting involved in these situations? Being used against the people as a weapon. I mean, honest to goodness. It's just like, when are we going to address that? It doesn't matter who we have in the big seat. It really doesn't. Until we get in control of the Fed, it's a waste of time. I mean, we knew the fascist employees for this social media platform friggin' were, censoring and shadow banning and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I knew the Fed had power. I knew there was a few of them that meddled. Excuse me, TBI. Sorry, guys. I knew a few of them had meddled around, but I didn't realize that it was like this. I didn't realize that we might as well be set up in a federal office. I mean, now that it's a reality, I mean, am I waving, hey, Hank, the Fed watching? God, and people think they need a police van out back. They don't need that anymore, people. They don't even need to follow you. Most of you have GPS in your vehicle that they can tap into. They know where you're at all times. This isn't the 1990s. Sorry. Federal government, man. Absolute lies. Then let's roll over to this next story. Biden's semi-fascist label for the latest anti-GOP moniker bestowed by Democrats. How is the President of the United States allowed to call Americans fascists in general? What type of president are you that because your approval rating is so freaking low that you got to do this? And don't worry, I already know. I already know that even talking about this, sharing my opinion, I already know. I'm probably looking at getting blocked on at least 2 different platforms. What have I done besides read what the left has put out for us to read? It's so angering. It's so angering. I know it's hard for a lot of you to understand because you're not doing all the editing. You're not doing all the work. You're not putting your face out there. You're not, going to stand up against the fascism, against the actual enemies and traitors of this country. And the people that are supposed to be watching your friggin' back don't. They're all talkers. I mean, everybody that says they're going into government to change things, who has? Give me one name of someone who has tasted the high life that hasn't turned against us. I mean, dude, we're rolling into midterms, and we're going to be rolling into a presidential election right after that. Let's look at it like this. President Trump, if we're being honest, let me, again, I don't want to mess anything up. Let me get, what is President Trump's birthday? He was born June 14th, 1946. So he's what, 76, 77? Another couple years, we're going to be close to 80. Then we're going to have to push into that. I love you, President Trump. I do, in some ways. Compared to what we're dealing with now. I wasn't with him as far as the jab. I wasn't with him as far as attacking the Second Amendment. If you remember, they were starting to go after suppressors and bump stocks and AR accessories and stuff. That's no bueno, guys. That's no bueno. And don't shut it off automatically. I understand, and what you need to understand is all presidents aren't freaking perfect, but when you start to go after constitutional rights, that's an issue. Now, the problem coming up in 2024, even if they get him back in, okay, and Trump said that they need to do another election or reinstate him immediately after what Mark Zuckerberg had said. And here is the final part. Republicans preparing to bring forward articles of impeachment against Biden ahead of expected November midterm victories.
Republicans impeach Joe Biden if they take back control. That's a possibility, according to The Hill's Mike Lillis. Several conservatives have already introduced impeachment articles in the current Congress, of course. Those articles accuse Biden of committing high crimes in his approach to several issues, including border enforcement, COVID, and the withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Oh, man. I want change. I want the country to get better, and it won't get better so long as two sides are just warring against each other. Who has won? How have the people, gained any ground? We've been punished. We've been punished for stepping forward. We've been punished. Man, in my opinion, all the inflation, all the fuel, all that stuff, that's punishment. It's saying, how dare you for trying to do the freedom trucking? How dare you ask to come out of lockdowns? How dare you not take the jibber jabber? How dare you do anything but what you're told? You know, I used to think the CIA was extremely corrupt. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has taken the cake. Is there anybody? Now I know why they're embarrassed to even show their face anywhere. You will never know who they are. You know, it used to be a pride thing, like, hey, tell your family, and your family's telling everybody, and it used to be a matter of pride. And apparently a long time ago, obviously the first few blunders, and then I think the Bundy Ranch situation was kind of the last straw. But now we know for sure that not only is a social media platform meddling, but they're getting pressure to meddle and to censor and to restrict the people. How freaking dare you? Who are you to do that, FBI? How dare you mess with people's lives, mess with success, mess with, opinions and the freedom of speech? How dare you mess with the Constitution? There is no forgiveness for this kind of stuff. No, I'm not inciting violence. I'm not asking for violence. I'm demanding that the Federal Bureau of Investigation have its own investigation against it, not from internally. There needs to be, from the top down, revolving doors of people going to prison for going well outside of an abuse of power, well outside of their mandate. Do you agree? I'm sure you freaking do. But these articles of impeachment, the only thing I'm upset with the Republicans about, do we trust Mitch McConnell? Do we trust McCarthy? We've already lost a few other heavy hitters. Madison came out and had that embarrassing crap come out about him. We have a very, very aging President Trump. So we really need to talk about the Republican Party really needs to talk about bringing in some youth. Because folks, when I'm looking around, I don't know. I don't know what options. I mean, there's the Libertarian Party. The only thing that scares me about the Libertarian Party is they don't agree amongst themselves. If you bring up anything outside of taxation, and some like the 2A, some don't. Some like abortion, some don't. as soon as you get outside of taxation and outside of the authority issues and everything, you know, so you're going to be mixed in with people that are divided within. And that's a real problem in my eyes. And libertarians, tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm still finding conservative libertarian pages. I'm still finding Democrat-leaning libertarian pages where it literally says in the top of it, Hannah Cox is a direct example of that. Conservative libertarian. And so, you know, it's almost like you can't win. And so, I mean, and certainly you can't be the left now. I mean, I'm not going to be for killing 9-month-old babies, okay? I'm sorry, I'm not. And the abortion thing is such a freaking joke now. People are arguing about abortion, and instead of even thinking about the fetus situation, they have no idea that they're marching right into mid and late term abortion. They're supporting mid and late term abortion just to make sure that they can have a fetal abortion. It's like, are we serious? Are we serious? This is our country? This is our country. This is why I say I almost can never have a party. Because if it's one side that, you know, oh my God. I mean, at this point, are things even gonna change? They've done such a great job of dividing us, and here I am, I find myself just standing out here going, can y'all figure it out so we can march forward? Anyways, what do you guys think about Mark Zuckerberg's comments, as well as the Republicans preparing articles of impeachment? We'll see. We'll see. We're told all sorts of things, and what comes of it. You know what I mean? Oh, some mid-level guys go down again for a couple years and then get out with millions and millions of dollars as a reward? Are we serious? Like, I'm sorry, but I'm just more and more I'm looking into the future and seeing hope being destroyed. And I'm sorry to have your day start like this, or your lunch, whatever. But I mean, I've got to speak the truth. But thank you guys for watching. Please let me know what you think, and let me know how I'm doing. I've edited a few of these videos. Tell me, do you like the content so far? Would you like me to turn a certain way, you know, as far as covering certain subjects and everything like that? Remember, there's so much to talk about. I got to take it in stride. So, you know, keep me informed. Let me know what I can do to make your stay fucking better. All right, guys, I love y'all. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you for the next one.